because I've been in more than a few discussions on the internet about some of this lately. Now again, we're in a different corner of the market than most people are today. But with the advent of the internet and streaming, all new delivery methods, it has really changed this market forever, and in some ways that are good and some ways that are not good. The other thing that you have to assess when you're bringing a product to market, as I say, you determine there is a market there, you determine how to get the product to market. You also have to very early on do some detailed research to find out who your competition is. I have difficulty in the sense in our format of music thinking we really have competition, because even in today's difficult economy, I do not believe that someone is going to stand in a CD store or go on to Amazon and say, oh gee, I'm only going to buy one of these two great albums. Yeah, you know, for, in our case, $13, I think they'll wind up buying both of them. So I don't think competition where we're at is so difficult. But on the other hand, if you go into the rock market or the pop market, you have extreme competition there, just getting even exposed to enough people. One of the problems we have in the music industry today, the computers have been both a godsend and a bane to our existence. They are wonderful in the sense that they give us unlimited distribution potential, but computers are also having what I think, and a lot of people I think would agree with this, a detrimental effect that they can turn almost anyone into a musician now. There's been an interesting feed going on LinkedIn lately about a program called Auto-Tune, which is used in the recording studio process. And it basically, and I've seen it done, I watched them do it with some of our tracks, where they'll take an instrument or a singer or whatever that missed a note and go back and just, with a couple of keystrokes, mouse clicks, fix it and make it perfect. I think in terms of a singer doing that extensively, that misrepresents the singer, and that's not probably a very ethical way of doing it. Fortunately, we didn't have that problem with Denise. She was pretty good through all of it. But there were cases, you know, we're tracking at times anywhere from 17 to 20 or more instruments at one time, and one violin hits one note off. Well, it would cost me more with all the union musicians to go back and redo that whole section and let the engineer fix it with a click of the mouse. But what you're seeing with the modern electronics is that anybody can set up a studio in their basement. With the computer programs, they can write their own music, they can create it, and 3 weeks later have it up on iTunes, and all of a sudden you now have tens of thousands of new pop artists, rock artists in all different genres. Everybody's on MySpace, Facebook. How do you set yourself apart from all of the others? That's a very difficult thing to do, and that's part of marketing, is you have to make yourself unique, that people will buy your product over someone else's. Again, we had the right product, and because our market is not oversaturated, it's been much easier to get our material out to our prospective audience. In fact, most of our prospective buyers don't even use downloads. We see the majority of our products sold through Amazon and CD Baby and our own sales as actual CDs. We're catering to a little older, a little more mature client. But in the pop or rock industry, it's got to be extremely difficult right now to set yourself aside. And that's part of what you have to do. So, well, a couple of things that we did through the process, because it was almost a year to create this thing. We started very early on with some of the early recording sessions, for instance, putting up on YouTube a series of videos called The Making Of. And it just showed the recording process, talking with the engineers. I never did post the ones where we're all sitting and screaming and arguing with each other, but there were a few of those. But some of the creative sessions, the idea was that we would start seeding the album out to the public, so they would see what was involved in producing it, whet their interests and appetites, and we kept that up on a regular basis, and that cost us nothing other than the cost of a couple of digital videotapes and some time to put it up on YouTube. But it got a lot of people interested in the project long before we ever got it finished. And we did the same thing through the MySpace and Facebook. We would take little snippets of some of the songs and just post little portions of them, partially because we obviously didn't want them to hear the whole album. We didn't want to give away what we were doing. But in modern recording processes, you don't generally do a song all at once. You do it in bits and pieces. So we'd come home from the studio and maybe we would have tracked 30 bars of At Last and another 40 bars of Somebody Loves Me, things like that. So we just sneak little bits and pieces of those out. We spent a great deal of time developing a lot of fans through releases on Facebook and MySpace. I wasn't personally too involved in that. I was working on the other aspects. We had an intern that was helping us and some other people that got heavily involved in building a fan base. Although I will say that that would probably be more valuable for maybe a rock or pop, because a lot of our primary market, they're not heavy users of MySpace or Facebook.